Welcome everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing.
Well, TCR TJ is the Season 13 Golden Class Champion for Trinity Competitive Racing.
Oh, let's go, dude! Yes!
Jabbar on the podium! He's on it by a 10! Gentlemen, side by side through one. And silent, and Seafreeze gets a half spin.
Let's fucking go!
Wheel bumping.
DRS enable, let's do it.
And Captain Blade battling it out for position. Captain Blade.
Ickle, what the
Then McChicken goes around and he also makes
rewind down the front straight. Oh my god.
I gotta check the heart rate.
Why do we do this? Because of nights like this.
Yo, welcome everybody to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Racing Debrief, TCR's podcast, where we combine the world of e-racing, sim racing, and TCR with real-life motorsports and Formula 1, a true racing enthusiast. Listen, I'm your host, C. Freeze, alongside Camden Luca and D'Angelo, and we'll be going over preseason for TCR of Season 15 for all classes. There should be some timestamps down below for each respective class. And definitely join us this week for the start of Round 1 at Australia. So Silver class. So I don't know how... I haven't really had much time to think about predictions and preview coming into the season, because I was kind of just waiting for our testing and seeing how the grid fills up and everything. But for the Silver class, there's a lot of new faces there. A lot of people got moved up, kind of forcefully. They got the boot, and
not the bad boot though. They got the boot upstairs.
Yeah, I guess so. It's the good kind. And I don't know. I think there's only a few really drivers towards the top that were racing last season. I think that's the interesting thing for me. There's still quite a few seats open, so I know this is going up on Monday, so we would be racing in theory tomorrow as when this comes out. So sign up and get on the grid relatively soon. But I'm excited to see some of the new drivers. There's quite a few shocked me in preseason testing, and I'm eager to see how they kind of perform on the round one and the first few rounds. I think that'll give us a good clue as to where they stand in the championship. But I think when you come into the season, there's really only one driver. He's here now, Camden Luca, that you kind of target as the favorite. Because when you look at the standings of last season and everyone around in that top 5 category, really the only driver is Camden, the runner-up from last season. You have Rafa Hulk is moving up, Segrist, Ben Swervin, Raiden, Blinn Machine's not racing this season. So I think the closest one is Formula Jonah. But he's a good driver. I don't know how close he'll be now that maybe it will help him. Since those other guys are up, it'll make room for Formula Jonah. But I really do think those two new drivers in, I think it was JMB and Carson in preseason testing when I did it,
Was
this
it Carson
week,
or
really good.
Hallberg?
I think it was Carson, but Hallberg,
He's
like returning.
Is he returning? Is
Yeah.
this a different name?
No, I think it should still be the same. He did,
It was a while
I think he
ago,
did.
I think.
Yeah, him and El Captain are returning.
Okay.
So I like to see their improvement as well. See, when they were last here, they were kind of mid-pack, I'd say. Maybe a little farther down. They were kind of newer to league racing, but I think now when they come back, I like to see that improvement. But I think most people, when we look at the polls in a minute or so, will definitely target Camden. They'll target probably Jonah because he was here last season, and then also those two new drivers of Ben JNB, I think, and Carson, and we'll see what they got. But that's kind of my preview coming into Silver is, can Camden, Luca, go one better, even with different competition, or will there be someone fresh off the bench coming in here, hot, who will take the class by storm, or is it someone else like maybe Jonah, or I don't know who else was really down there, maybe F1 Nerd or CJ. Could they really have that big improvement after their first seasons in TCR? So there's a lot of question marks for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the question marks. Definitely, it's like there's only a couple returning drivers. You said like Camden, Formula, Jonah. Chabar is one of them. Camden Luca's teammate once again, and they were the constructors champion last season. Even with Chabar being outside the top 10 in points, I think he's going to bounce back this season and everything. But I think when you look at, if you just look at returning drivers, it's definitely between Formula Jonah and Camden. Formula Jonah kind of got unlucky last season with just like guys coming in and everything, and then like you had Rafa Hulk, Raiden coming in, Segrist, all these guys, and like it was just too much for him to handle. But I think now that we do have some young guns that showed in testing and everything that are new, but Formula Jonah still put it like P5 and everything. I think he's going to be just fine. It's just there's just going to be some hiccups here and there, but I think it's going to be pretty close. But I still think the way trying to put this, but like Camden is definitely the favorite if you look at last season. There's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to look, now that we've had testing, you have to look at these other drivers coming in, like Carson and J and B, and they were right there the whole practice session with their like long runs, their quali runs, and everything. And we're at Australia for week 1 too, so that'll make it really interesting going into week 1. But I think in the long run, I think Camden does have the best chance.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, let's
it's
hear from him.
definitely.
How do you feel, Camden? How do you feel?
Yeah,
My
right.
driver,
Interesting.
he's coming back into the academy, actually, both of you, and the Freeze Foundation this year.
I'm coming
renamed.
into the academy, not back into it.
Yeah. Newly signed, but how do we feel, Camden? The favorite. That's pretty cool.
I know, it's pretty cool to at least hear that, but yeah, I think it's going to be close, if anything. I'm not going to put necessarily a label on anybody as the champion yet. I just think it's too early to really decide that, just because of, like you said, these new people that are here this season, especially JMB. I really liked his pace on Tuesday. I think if he can be consistent, I think he's going to be a pain in my ass. I think he's going to be really quick.
Do you think he's your closest competitor as of now, you think?
I mean, based on what I saw on Tuesday, it looks like it, but I think if anything that we saw from last season, it's one thing to be fast, but if you're not consistent, then there's no point. And we really don't know what JMB's consistency looks like, just because he's going to be a rookie coming into this season. But another returning driver that you guys kind of hinted at, but you didn't really talk about, is Chabar, my teammate and reigning constructors champion, co-champion. I think he's going to be quicker. I think we have maybe less competition overall this season compared to last season. So this could be the season that Chabar really explodes and gets on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, I think this is definitely his season. I mean, I've been talking to you two throughout the off season, and I was kind of saying the same thing. Like, for him, he's coming in. It's his third season. He did have a podium at Australia in his first season, and that was a crazy. I think to the intro of this podcast, you see a little glimpse of me and Turkey screaming. That stream and that ending of the race was still one of my favorite moments in the last few seasons or ever. Honestly, it was really cool. because we practiced so much, and to see that success finally, we were both really hyped for it. So I think although last season he did retire at Australia, but I think all in all, I think he'll have a really good season. I think he could be close to that top 5 conversation, around 5, 6, 7, maybe more. I would definitely want it around that area. I don't think any less is probably not ideal, but I do think he'll have a strong season. I also think CJ is going to have a strong season, as is F1 Nerd. They are returning as well. I liked how CJ, I think it was last season at Bahrain for the TCR Grand Prix week and the TCR feature week for Silver. He led basically the entire race, but he missed out on a podium, I think, because of the safety car, and strategy didn't go his way at the end. But his speed has definitely increased a lot, and I was doing some 5-lappers with him throughout off season here and there. I think he's been practicing and racing the entire off season, so you might see a big uptick for him, as well as F1 Nerd. Had some pretty good podiums. I don't know if either have gotten a win. I don't believe so, but I think they could also grab their top step along with Chabar and Jonah as well. I don't know if he won last season.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he's ever won either. So I think those 4 drivers can definitely get to the top step, as well as, like I said, the other favorites like yourself, J&B, Carson. I also like Carson's teammate, the Toblerone. I think this could be a season where we see a bunch of different winners.
Yeah, and here's another potential winner that you didn't bring up. That is actually a returning driver this season. You know who I could see winning a race, Seafreeze?
Speedy.
Any guess? Yes.
I'd say Speedy.
I think... No, seriously. I think
wouldn't be
that
shocked.
he, some way, somehow, finds a way to win a race.
It's going to be Monaco.
Monaco.
Oh, that's right. That is on the schedule this season. Oh, God.
It'd be Monaco.
I gotta brace myself.
It'd be Monaco because he's gonna qualify like P15, and everyone's gonna crash in front of him.
No, well, last season, Speedy. I mean, how many times did he actually win last year? But he didn't win. I
Like
think
3 times.
He crossed the line first, but he had so many penalties. I think Australia was one.
Australia was one.
To Japan.
Spain, he was close, but he spun towards the end.
Spain too. The 2 Ferraris.
Yeah.
We're up there. I think Speedy could get a win as well, and I think you could have around 6, 7 different drivers winning, unless one becomes more of that favorite, like yourself or J&B Carson or others.
The thing is,
starts to grab all of them.
I haven't heard any Speedy shit talk, so I don't know if he's as motivated as he was last season. So
I think he's just kind of staying quiet, and I think he's gonna put all the action on track. That's what I think.
He better.
Yeah,
not
he was
corner
just
cut
about
every
to
5 seconds.
join the test session on Tuesday, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Oh no, I can't show up to the test session." So maybe Speedy's got something up his sleeve that he doesn't want us to know about until Tuesday.
That would be a Speedy
Maybe.
thing to do.
Yeah, he wasn't at testing. We don't really know how he's looking like. I also wanted to just say to 2 other returning drivers from last season, Oreo and Bags. I think you'll see some improvement by them as well. Oreo had a rough season. He finished, I think, P17-ish, 15, 16, around that area. And it was kind of the main reason that...
Mercedes didn't win the constructors.
Yeah, with Rafa Hulk, because he only had a few points. So I think he'll be practicing with CJ, because they actually are their teammates this year, and they said they were actually communicating a lot. And I think working with your teammate in a party practicing is a great way to improve. So I think you'll see that from him. And Bags, I mean, he had some good performances last year. I think first year in TCR. Your second time around in the league is usually always good, so I think he'll do great. And again, he's in the Williams for this year.
Should we move on to the constructor side now?
Yeah, actually, we did predictions. For the
Oh
league.
yeah.
The I don't know how many people responded or what, but
I got
let's
1,
look
2, 3,
over.
4, like 13 or 14 responses for silver.
Okay.
The overwhelming people's favorite is Camden. It's by a lot by the people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Almost everyone but one
Two people.
person. Oh, three people.
Well,
Everyone.
one person didn't even vote for for Camden at all.
Man, you're gonna fall off that much, I guess. Um,
So 2 people who actually put votes down for Camden don't have him
second
winning.
and third. Yeah. And those people who had them, they had actually J and B first, and then Camden second for that one vote, whoever that was, and then they also had Chabar winning and Camden third. So that was probably Chabar. um, so yeah,
I don't know.
Camden,
Were you
the
the one?
overall
I
favorite.
know. We'll get to this, but were you the one that put me P19?
No, we'll get to that, but I will complain about that in a minute. So yeah, there's the kind of the driver's standpoint. Yeah, let's move on to the constructors quick. I think for me, there's
2 teams.
2 or
3.
3 teams, I would say right now. I mean, there are a lot of open spots, so I hope that people can fill it and we get some pretty competitive teams. I think the favorite is still Alfa Romeo with Camden and Chabar.
by a lot.
And how do you feel about that, Camden? What do you think? Do you think you can go back to back?
Yeah, I mean, I think the mentality is that you should go back to back, especially if the competition is a little less than what it was last season. And I know that Chabar is going to be better. I think that's going to be a huge confidence boost for both of us. Is that really, all he needs to do is finish top 5 in the driver standings, and it should be a lock for us.
100%.
And even though, I'm looking at a couple of teams, and we talked about Formula Jonah and Speedy before. They're both teammates this season at the Ferrari. So I think if they both are up front in points, if they both finish top 5 in points as well, they could be right there in the hunt. You look at AlphaTauri with Carson and Toblerone. They're both teammates, so that could be tough. But yeah, I think it's just a must that we go back to back this season. I think that's just the expectation.
Y'all will
Absolutely.
Y'all will join an exclusive list too, because there hasn't been many people that have gone back to back constructors.
With the exact same driver lineup too.
Yeah, I'm just talking about just back to back constructors champions in general. There's only, let's see, 1, 2.
Well, your boy here, I think I might have gotten.
You've got like
4 in a row.
You hit 5 in a row.
But
so that's
a
one.
lot of different teammates, a lot of different cars. But this is the exact same driver lineup and team.
It's only like 4 drivers that have won back to back. Well, actually 5, because Tebow won with me in Golden, but the season before he won in Silver too.
Yeah.
So that's only 5 total drivers that have won back-to-back constructors.
So we have 5 people that have ever done that, and 3 of them, well, if I get it, 3 of them would be in this call right here.
Yes.
I think that's pretty cool.
Hey, you're in the academy for a reason, you know what I mean?
Hey, right? I might not win drivers, but I damn sure win constructors.
Where's my contract, Seafreeze?
Hey, we're gonna still talk about it. We got some time.
But yeah, that'd be out of 14 seasons with with 3 different classes. Granted, silver wasn't added till later, but only 5 total drivers have won 2 or more in a row constructors championships.
Yeah, and you know what? Personally, I value the constructors championship so much more because I just love the aspect of working with your teammate, both providing. For me, it's my I guess more favorite, if that's the way you say it.
Your favorite
championship, my favorite championship to win. Thank you. But yeah, I love the constructors. It's just so good when you could work with your teammate and both are providing to that championship. I think there's a little bit more satisfaction in that to an extent. And as I guess your boss, Camden, in the academy, I would also say that the constructors back to back for you and Jabor would be the goal and mission, and I think you guys will win it. But I do want to shout out some close contenders that I think could snatch it away.
Red Bull,
Um,
it would be one for me.
oh, you're saying Red Bull.
F1
Now
Nerd.
that's F1 Nerd and Santop.
Sandtop looked, yeah, Sandtop looked pretty
Yes, I know.
good.
I had them maybe
Like
around
third.
third or fourth. I have the team of the AlphaTauris, the two new drivers, Carson and the Toblerone, whoever you say it.
Toblerone.
Toblerone. There's going to be many different
There's
pronunciations.
gonna be many jokes about your name. Sorry, Toblerone.
Just call him the Big Toe.
Ooh!
We got one already.
Yeah, I'm not much of a foot guy, but the AlphaTauris I think
That's a
are
lie.
gonna be.
How would you know that?
Hey,
Keep going,
watch
keep
it.
going.
Hey, yo, pause.
Anyways.
I think the AlphaTauris are gonna put up a good team battle for both of them. Then my third team as well is going to be the Ferraris, Jonah and Speedy. I think
I was about to say,
is
don't
going to
sleep
be a
on
really good
Speedy.
one. It's pretty much combining. It was Blinn and Jonah last year, and then Speedy and Omega. So them two were kind of, Omega got promoted. Blinn's no longer on the grid this year. It would be the first time ever in Silver Class, so it's going to look different without him. Hopefully he'll rejoin soon. Blinn.
It's
We
gonna be a
watch him
Fernando.
back.
It's gonna be a Fernando Alonso situation.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna have a good season. I would say maybe the Haas team of El Captain and J and B. I just want to see J and B looked really strong. I didn't really see so much from El Captain, and based off of what I know from how he was when he was raced seasons ago, I don't have them as the favorites. But maybe he can prove me wrong and improve a lot. But there's a few strong teams. There could be more, if they start to fill in.
Yeah, I agree. I still think definitely the runaway favorites, definitely the two Alfa Romeos, and not even because it's I think they're probably the best best returners on the grid. It's just the chemistry more than anything. That's all you really you've seen in regular F1, it's even though Lewis and Nico at one point were battling for championships, they would win the constructors first, and then they would fight it out. So
Could be. That hasn't happened in a long time in TCR as well, having
yeah, winning the
that,
constructors first.
yeah, or just two drivers in the same team going for the title.
Mm-hmm.
That really hasn't happened much, but that would be cool. It would be cool. So yeah, then as far as the results here, it looked like majority is going to be voting the constructors of the Alfa Romeos, if I could find it. Most people putting them first. Only 1, 2, 3 people voted against.
Who did this person
And-
put for first on the second place? Oh, they put the Haas team.
Yeah, and then someone voted them fourth, but then put the AlphaTauris first, Carson and the Big Toe, and then we have someone voted
Someone's messing
Romeo
without.
fifth.
Someone's messing around with that one.
Yeah, someone
That's
put them
Taz.
fifth,
That's 100% Taz's prediction.
and then put the Aston Martins of F1 Nerd and Oreo. Oh, are they together? Who's together?
No, I think it was a typo, and I made the doc before the typo was fixed. Because he's
Okay.
in Red Bull, I'm 90% sure. Let me double check the roster in the Discord.
CJ and Oreo are together in the Aston Martin.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
well, that's
so-
a good pick too. Yeah. But yeah.
It says Red Bull. In
Yeah.
silver. in silver. CJ and Oreo, yeah, CJ and Oreo in their Aston. Sandtop and Brownie in the Red Bull. Or F1 nerd.
All right, so I think that kind of covers a little bit of everything. We'll be racing Silver Class when this goes out tomorrow, so that'll be February 28th, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. YouTube and Twitch. Come see round number 1 at Australia, and yeah, let's have some fun. And yeah, I think we'll go to the Golden Class now.
This
A
is
lot
the one
more.
we don't know anything about.
Actually, no. This is probably my most interested class. Like, I really want to tune in to see, because I think that Golden Class is always a great class. It's just a great mixture of great drivers, and it's always very close. You're never going to have one person really run away with it. There's been a few seasons that has happened, but in the last few, it's always been extremely close. I mean, even going down to last season, we had GTR Lion Got Any Weeb coming down, but only a few points separated them. 2 points separated them at the end of it. 2 seasons before that, you had 3 people go down. It was TJ Warrens and Got Any Weeb, and TJ was able to get that championship, but you had 3 people go down to the finale, and I think you'll see a very similar thing this case. All teams are filled besides one Williams. There's 2 open seats, so if you're listening, you can still sign up and probably get on the grid. Just sign up, join the Discord, and you can maybe join the Golden Class. It's racing line only. But do you agree with that? That this class will be just as close as previous seasons?
I raced in it, so yeah, it's the same. It's basically like same shit, different season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really disappointed that I won't be commentating the Golden Class this season, or at least hopefully I won't. Hopefully we get somebody to truly be the commentator for the class, because it is so close, like you guys said. And I do think this season will be a little different, actually. I think there will be one driver that runs away from everybody else, but it's still going to be as entertaining as always.
Yeah, and now when I'm looking at the Drivers' Championship coming into here, it's interesting because testing kind of skewed what I was thinking a little bit. I think you have a lot of people capable of winning races. When you look at last year's standings, you have quite a few people moved up. So last year's champion, Got Any Weeb, he'll be in Platinum. P2 is GTR Line. He won't be on either grid, unfortunately. P3 was, I believe it was Rockstar. He got moved up. Dirt Shark P4, he got moved up to Platinum. And obviously D'Angelo, it was kind of by choice, but I kind of forced you. You're going to be teaming up with me in Platinum.
It's
Tebow
not like
finished 5th.
It's not like I got destroyed in the standings, though. I just had shit luck.
No, I mean, you were only a few points. You could have been 3rd. You were...
I was like 10 points behind 3rd. It was a toss-up.
Yeah, pretty much. So it was very close. Tebow finished 5th, so his closest competitor would have been SPM, who he's actually teaming up with. SPM finished
That's going to be dangerous.
7th.
That's going to be dangerous.
And I think Tebow wants to make it back to back to back, and the Constructors' Championships, winning one in silver 2 seasons ago, last year with yourself, D'Angelo, and Tebow, and I think he wants to do it again
I think
with SPM.
Let's see. No. I think he'd be only the 2nd driver to do that, because Taz has only won 2 in a row. He has not won 3 in a row. And
Yeah, I think it would just be me.
I think it'd just be you and Tebow.
Yeah.
If he pulls it off.
You're damn right. Well, I think he has a good opportunity, and you know what? You were just talking moments ago that we've never seen really in a long time 2 drivers in the same team going for the championship. Well,
I think both. Both of these guys can.
Definitely. I mean, SPM at the end of last season was getting podiums regularly. I believe he did get a race win, if not very close. I think he did snag one. Tebow also snagged one, and it was his rookie season in the Golden Class. I think it could come down to these 2.
I'm checking the results for Golden last season. If it'll load.
But nonetheless, you're also getting a bunch of promotions from the silver class I mentioned earlier. You're getting the season 14 silver class champion of Rafa Hulk. You're getting Raiden Shogun, who finished third.
SPM.
You're getting Segrist, Ben Swervin, and Omega, all bumped up from the silver class. So those are all, good additions.
SPM didn't win an actual race. He won the sprint race at Abu Dhabi.
The sprint race. Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he had 5 podiums.
Yeah, and he had a nice swing of a couple in a row as well.
Yeah, he had 3 in a row from Saudi to Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many people that you could really choose. When I was looking at the testing this week, I was actually commentating it a little bit. I really was impressed by new driver JMBZ in the Aston Martin. I was also impressed with Raiden, who got promoted. I was also impressed with Segrist. I think he will also be a front runner. We didn't see Tebow. We didn't see SPM. Or we did see a little bit. I think he was there. We didn't see the Alpines of Rizzy and FND Cakes. He didn't see Sir Charles. So there's a lot of people I didn't see last week. But I think GMBZ is very strong. And personally, I have him for the Golden Class Championship.
You have
Wow.
who? You have who?
Exactly. You'll know him by round 15. It's GMBZ, Aston Martin.
Interesting.
Is it just because he's in the Aston Martin?
Well, that could be, but he's not. He's not in the foundation. He's not in the academy. He's just quick.
You just like the car.
And I like the car, but he's quick. I think he had the quickest time in testing.
D'Angelo, I want to remind you, this dude randomly predicted Gottany Weeb to win the Golden Class Championship last season.
That
at a
was
point when Gottany Weeb
mid-season,
was such an
so-
underdog.
Yeah, that was mid-season, and then Abu Dhabi happened, and then everything just went to shit.
Hey, listen.
So,
Listen, right here. In 4 months' time, it'll be around June, the second week of June. Let's
like
say
a
that.
month before the new game comes out.
And we're going to have a podcast literally a week after. And I'm going to be telling you, D'Angelo, that JMBZ is the season 15 Golden Class Champion. I'm just calling it right here.
Over-under wins right now.
I want a YouTube short. Post it again. And it better get more likes than the last one.
Over-under wins for GMBZ right now.
2.
Over. Way easy. Over.
2. He's getting 2 wins, and he's not winning the championship. You
I
heard
think
it here first.
Over-under wins on Tebow.
4.
5.
Over. I think he gets 6.
6.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
He has a golden season under his belt now. And
Okay,
the entire top 5 is either gone or moved up.
I mean, that's a fair argument. Although, you know what? Why I'm picking JMBZ?
I want to see how many wins were in the bottom 5 or below 6, so below me. There was 1 win below 6 last season, below P6 in the standings.
And who was that?
C. Rizzy.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying. I like JMBZ. They're actually all friends. Mercedes and the Aston Martin. Roof for JMB, SPM Tebow, and I just kind of have a good feeling that JM will have a really strong shot. And I do believe he'll be there all season. So if he can show up and contend, he'll get podiums. He'll get race wins. I've seen him.
I'm not surprised. So you can keep going.
No, I'm just putting my statement up even higher and higher. This way, when it goes right, it'll make for good content. But yeah, no, that was my pick. I just want to also mention one more thing, another viewpoint when you're talking about the driver's standpoint. I don't know if we've ever had this as well. We have 4 silver class champions on this grid, and they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
going for a golden class championship.
Charles,
I'll go
Tebow.
in. Yeah, so I'll go in order. So those who might not know, you have Season 9 silver class champion F1 racer. He's
Mhm.
returning at Ferrari. You have Season 12 silver class champion Sir Charles and
Charles.
Haas, who's teaming up with your last season, Season 14 champion Rafa Hulk, and then you have Tebow in Season 13. But you have 4 on the grid. I don't think we've ever had
I don't think we've had that in any
4
class, like the
champions.
previous class champion in the next class.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think
it's
so.
some good company here. So they're all trying to go for the silver or the golden championship, but I think it's going to be someone different. I don't think because no one's ever gotten a silver championship and a golden championship.
I think Tebow might change that.
I agree.
Could.
If
Definitely
if he does, he's gonna have the best shot and forever or ever to get all 3. So
Yeah, and looking at the votes, was he the favorite as well, Tebow?
yes,
I would assume.
overwhelming favorite.
Mm. I think I was the only one that voted JMB.
I didn't even do my predictions, honestly. I forgot to do my predictions. I made
It's
the
alright.
thing and I forgot to do them.
You're in the show, so it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, it's true.
So there we go. There's a little bit. I think for those who are returning, I think a lot of drivers will have some good seasons. I think this is a strong 1 through 18 is what we got right now. Very good lineup. And I like all the team matchups too. I think they all like make sense. It's interesting. And going to the constructors, for me, I mean, I got to support my guys in the foundation. I'm going probably more biased, but I got to support them on the show. The Alpines. I think C Rizzy and FND Cakes, with the help and the practice preparation within the team, I think we could have a nice season, an improved season, but it's going to be difficult because I do think Tebow and SPM are the favorites. Although I do like that Haas team, Sir Charles Rapholk, 2 silver champions teaming up at Haas. That's badass.
I think one thing that you have to keep in mind with the who is Tebow teammates with SPM? Is that right?
Yep.
I think SPM. We have to look and see how aggressive he is going to be now that he's probably going to be more towards the front this season. Because there were a couple of moments in season 14 where he was going for a win, and I can point out Abu Dhabi specifically, where he made a really aggressive move and ended up taking himself out of the race. So if SBM can stay on track, I think it'll be hard for the Alpines to get them, but who knows? I mean, SBM could blow this thing wide open for a team like the Alpines to go and steal the constructors.
I like that assessment. I agree.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with 2 guys that are very quick in the same team, even in esports style racing. It's how aggressive they're going to be with each other early on. Because if they're not aggressive with each other early on and they're getting podiums, it's not going to matter in the end. So
Yeah. Yeah, I also like the teams, the Red Bull team, Ben and Segrist. I think
weren't they teammates in
Silver,
Silver
yeah.
last season?
Oh yeah. And they work pretty well together. I think Segrist is probably the stronger driver. I think he can compete towards the top. It's just what are we going to get from Ben in this class. If he's finishing races, I mean, he had some. It was the Ben Blinn and Benny show last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
Silver. He's had some bad luck, but I think if he could finish races, he could support Segrist, and it could be quite close. But I think the thing to the overall thing here in Golden is that the field is so close. I don't really see one driver pulling away from it. I think everyone is going to be taking points off each other, just like last season, and that's why it's going to be so close in both the drivers and the constructors. And it's a long season, so it's just so much could happen. Any final thoughts from Golden?
I do not have any.
Me neither.
Right. Going on to the Platinum class, saving the best for last.
The big boy class.
Oh yeah, and just for those maybe listening, we are Golden class. Just saying, their first race Wednesday, March 1st, 8:45 p.m. Eastern time. There's 2 seats as of right now. I'm recording this. Sign up and join the Discord. And then for the Platinum class, March 2nd, Thursday, 8:45 p.m. Eastern time. There's a few seats open as well. You could also sign up and join the Discord. Yeah. You're going to be commentating it now, Camden Lucas. So what is your
I am.
thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, well, if we look at, I'm sure D'Angelo's got the predictions here, but I've got them as well. And B-Tom had
Overwhelming.
every single vote. Every single person that voted said that B-Tom was going to win the Drivers' Championship. I think people need to hold their horses. That's all I'm going to say here. I don't
far
think
as what?
it's going to be...
Who's holding
as-
horses?
I think
up,
everybody
Seafried.
is holding their horses.
No, but
I-
who? I didn't hear it. That's what I just didn't know what you said.
Oh, everyone that voted, literally everybody, all 7 people who did the Platinum class preseason prediction
Oh.
needs to hold their horses on B-Tom. Everybody's picking first.
Yeah.
And here's why, okay? I think that B-Tom is going to have more competition this season. And I think primarily that's going to be because of you two knuckleheads in the Aston Martin, okay?
Dude, I'm the takeout guy,
Seafried-
obviously.
Seafreeze, man, I don't want to put any pressure on you when I say this, but I think you're in for a comeback season. I think B-Tom doesn't know what you have in store for him. And this is going to be a huge storyline, but you two are tied currently at 3 Platinum Championships.
You better knock
And-
on some wood that you said that.
Right?
You're the king of jinxes.
Oh, I know. I mean, we just talked about the podcast from last season. I mean, I literally jinxed it in favor of Gottany Weeb winning. But I got to be careful with saying that Seafreeze is going to do it. But I am actually saying that Seafreeze is going to break that tie with B-Tom and get that 4th championship. I just think B-Tom, I think he's not going to be ready. And I don't like the fact that literally everybody voted for him, you know? I just think that's a bad sign. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Freeze?
Well, I'll say this. I think that coming into this season, I mean, the Platinum class is always very difficult, and for the main part, it's kind of the same suspects up at the front, and I think it's going to be very hard to beat Tasmanian Devil or B-Tom. I call him Taz still. But we're gonna do our best, and whatever that is, it is. I think when I came back, the season 13 was more of a learning curve. Season 14, I had a really strong start to the season.
And it's game change too, so that throws everyone for a loop.
Yeah, and once Spain happened, I stopped preparing. But I do know this, that coming into this season with a teammate I feel comfortable with, and the team that we're preparing and practicing with, I'm gonna be giving it my absolute 100%, and
100.
I keep it 100, and we'll see what can happen. I don't like to usually put expectations of championship or not, because there's been some seasons that have kind of come as a shock, either one way or the other. But definitely, I think at this moment in time, the last few seasons, the best driver in TCR has been Taz, and now that we're equaled up at 3, may the best man win.
Valid.
Yeah, and D'Angelo. I'm looking at these predictions, and
I feel
just want to do a face
disrespected.
palm.
I
Really
feel
disrespectful.
disrespected.
I mean, look, like, I get it from their perspectives because they saw that your results at the end of last season in the Golden Class slipped a little bit and you ended up 6th in points. But I don't think people have seen that you and Seafreeze have been working together this off season,
The raw
and your
pace.
pace. Yeah, your pace has been good in the practice sessions we've done, and in the 5-lappers. Like, you guys are looking good for the constructors, just because both of you are going to be up there competing for the drivers' championship.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel a little bit disrespected, but that honestly like makes me want to practice even more. Like, I can understand like 14th. It's like, okay, it's my first season in platinum. Like 14th isn't a terrible prediction, but 18th, really? I'm looking at you, Taz. You probably put that shit.
Isn't it
Well,
only
well,
like
here's the one thing I wanted to say, because this might be skewing the votes, because the way you put the platinum class drivers poll is that you had to select all 20 slots, otherwise it wouldn't take the submission. So I personally did like the top 5, and then everyone else I just clicked random so I could get done with it.
Oh, I thought
So
I had it set the same for everything. Well, that's my fault
no,
then. But still,
yeah,
18th, I'm
yeah.
disrespected.
No, I think, you know what? I think personally, I wasn't even going to be competing this season, to be honest, with you. But I was looking at it, and honestly, when I kind of got kicked out of Ferrari, I was thinking of, like, what made sense for me, and what kind of motivation gives me to kind of come back, right? And or stay here, I'd rather say. And it's always to be in a car I like driving in, and being with a teammate I enjoy working with, and actually preparing and having that same common goal, right, of showing up every week and competing competitively. And I think that, with D'Angelo last season in Golden, showed that he was competitive with a strong class. I think he'll move up and be strong, but I think I'll be able to work with him a lot. And and I don't know if everyone knows this, but we're both season 1 vets of TCR. We're like the old school. We're as old school as you get. D'Angelo from season 1, obviously me as well, but so it just kind of worked out that we were in Aston Martin, and
We have never
I
been
think it's going to be
teammates
good.
till now either.
Never been teammates all these seasons. Granted, depending, you didn't do every season, I didn't do every season,
Yeah.
you were different classes, all that, yada yada yada. But it's cool to finally team up with you, and I think we could learn a lot from each other and give a run for the constructors. Personally, when it does, just to sum up, just so I don't, it's not just me and Taz we're focusing on. I do think, as far as the Drivers' Championship, I think you can really see any of the top 5 from last season make a bid at it, depending on how they perform and how much preparation they do. So that's obviously, as professional myself, Silent, and TJ. I think all 5 could make a run for it. I would say it's more favorably that it's either as Professional or myself when you look at how consistently have they been able to compete at the front. TJ's yet to get a win in Platinum. Although he's had some great performances, he hasn't won. So to do that, in order to win, you need to put 4, 5, 6 wins together in a season, especially around 5 or 6 in this 15 race season. He hasn't even gotten one. So you really can't put him to be the guy unless the preparation went up so much that the performance has also went up. And Silent as well, he only picked up the 1 win, and that was his only one in the class. So I don't really know if you could put him as that guy, unless, like I said, you increase the preparation so much the performance goes up. So I really like Professional's consistency. I don't know how many wins he got last year, 1 or 2 or 3, I don't really know. But he's close. I think it'll be close between me and Taz, so I don't really see anyone else winning it, so unless someone new comes in, but no one else is really close. So sucks to suck, guys, but you got to get better. And
No, you say that, I'm gonna become that Elmo meme that's going around right now. The death's there, Elmo.
Yeah,
I think Kevin knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't have no idea what you're talking about.
Boomer.
And as far as constructors, I think it's going to stay the same as far as the pairings. I think Taz and TJ, now at McLaren, not at Red Bull, will have a pretty good shot at it. I think actually the stronger team could be Professional and Silent at Ferrari now instead of Mercedes, so they're going to be strong. Although I also think we're getting a big uptick with adding you, D'Angelo, and I think we at Aston Martin could do pretty well. So we'll see how the season unfolds, but I think those are the 3 favorite teams right now when you're looking at the constructors. I'm not dissing Chargers by any means, but
I am at the same time.
I am at the same time. You do need a lot of, especially when it's the solid pairings that the other 2 teams have, TJ and Taz, Professional, Silent. I mean, I need somebody right up there with me. Because I'm not going to be gapping Taz by 150 points. If anything, it's going to be close. So I need someone else also in that top 6 conversation. And I think if I could compete in the top 3 with Taz, Professional, and myself, and I expect you to be competing with TJ and Silent. And if we could do that, I think we'll be in the conversation for both championships. But it's going to be tough. I mean, it's a long season. I don't see anyone else in the constructors or drivers. I'm sorry, guys. Sucks to suck.
Well, there is one other team that I'm looking at. I don't know if they're necessarily going to compete for the Constructors' Championship, but Williams is quite interesting.
They can make some noise.
They could, because in Williams, you have 2 former Golden Class champions from a ways back, actually. You have Andy, who won the Season 8 Golden Class Championship, and you have Flying Jippo, who won the Season 10 Golden Class Championship. And the thing is, on Thursday, they were both pretty quick in the practice session. And I know that, it's just practice. You really don't know until you get to the race. But with 2 former champions on the same team, there's no reason they can't get up there and finish at least top 3 in constructors.
Yeah, no, they're probably a pretty strong team. I think also the AlphaTauris are pretty strong. Dirt Shark and Rockstar teaming up from Golden. I think pretty much solid speed with similar to D'Angelo and got any promoting the promotion. So if they could get up there in the conversation, then they could probably fight up there. I pretty much have them around 5th, maybe Williams for 4th, and we'll just see how they do. But one thing's for certain is you got to, any team and all drivers, you have to show to every single race. You can't afford to lose one race. So that also is a big factor, as any season, but especially in Platinum. You need to show up every race. That's really all I got. I think Cool, Charters, and Cam are a decent, solid team. Stanley got any solid team. Probably close around the 6th, 7th range.
Dirt Shark and Rockstar too might be pretty solid.
Yeah, no, they are solid. I think right now you got Raikkonen and Mercedes alone and Meb at Haas alone. Both drivers actually pretty quick. I think Meb could compete for race wins consistently. Only thing is he does miss races and he does crash out from time to time. And that would need to change quickly for a championship run. And he doesn't have a team right now, so he can't really pick him for constructors. And same with Raikkonen. Maybe not showing up one race or so. I don't know actually his attendance, but he needs those two things to be a champion. So that's why I wouldn't really pick them. But I hope we get a few more. I like to call them heavy hitters joined up on the grid. Get some quick guys towards the front. So hopefully we find a few. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting.
How do we think that Got Any Weeb is going to do this season? Because I know that he wasn't necessarily in favor of moving up to Platinum, but he's not the type of guy to crash out at all. So, I mean, do we see him possibly picking up some podiums now and then?
I think it'll be difficult, Larry. I think if like I said, I think the top 3 teams, I think we're going to be there almost every race. So I don't, and out of those 6 drivers, you don't see many of them DNF or have an off day. So I think it's going to be a pretty dominant season by those 3 teams. And yeah, maybe 1 or 2 possibly, but I know he's going to miss the first few races due to scheduling conflicts. But once he gets back in, or whenever he's able to show, he could go for it. For sure, I think anyone's capable on the grid on Platinum to having success, but it all comes down to preparing. You can't not race all week and then just show up on Thursday unless you're Taz. It doesn't work like that. For those guys who are behind the 8 ball a little bit, you're going to have to prepare a little bit. You're going to have to find that motivation. You're going to have to find something different that works. If you just keep following the leader, you're just going to follow the leader all season. You got to do something different to put yourself in position to get yourself wins, podiums, points, and positions to gain from. I know a lot of the Golden Class drivers didn't want to move up from last season because their main claim is, I don't have the pace to win in Platinum. Newsflash! I keep saying it. No one has the pace to win in Platinum. It's very hard to win in Platinum when you have Tasmanian Devil on the grid, grabbing 4 or 5 wins a season.
6.
It's hard to win. 5, 6, yeah. It's hard to win races. You're gonna have to learn though, and the only way you do that is to get on a grid that's pretty solid, and that's the only way you're gonna improve. You got to lower your expectations a little bit instead of fighting for wins in Golden and going for a championship in a constructor. Now you're going into Platinum. It's a great opportunity to learn, get yourself some consistent points, and see what you could get in a season, right? And it all really matters how serious you are about it, and down the line, you can see big improvements. It's just 2 seasons ago we had TJ in Golden. He moved up and he had a great first season. He could have easily just popped up here and didn't put any work in and be a P11 Golden promotion driver, which most are, but no, he didn't. He came up here. He prepared. He was, I think, 6th, 5th, and he got a constructors out of it. So it's really all dependent on what do the Golden drivers want. But it's really hard for drivers to go from Golden to Platinum and think they're going to have success winning. You're not going to win right away. I mean, TJ didn't do it last year. It's hard. He was very close many, many times, but he put that work in. But not everyone who gets promoted does put the work in and doesn't see results. So it's tough. It's a tough class, but when you do get success in it, it's definitely worthwhile. So Yeah, that's my rant over. I don't know.
Rant.
That's it. Let's go win, D'Angelo. We got practice.
Yep.
Final thoughts. We're good.
I'm good.
Gamden?
I'm good.
Yes, sir. All right, so that's the preseason for TCR, and we will, like I said, Platinum Thursday, 8:45, March 2nd. We do have some seats all around. We got commentary roles open, stewards roles are open, admin roles are open. We can slot you in wherever you want to help, but if you want, the best for TCR in season 15, we need you a little bit of help to get through around the 4 months or so. A busy week. We got this coming up right now. It's uploaded on Monday. Races Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday is another podcast for F1 testing before they hit the track on Saturday for quali and then Sunday for their first race. It's a busy week. It's F1. It's back. And I just want to say, make sure to follow Teacher on all social media and join the Teacher Discord server, where we are the most active until, I guess, tomorrow and next week. Thank you for listening.
Now we gotta do the intro.
Yes, sir. All right. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Yo, welcome back. I can't do it. Oh, man. Take 2.
Take 2.
All right.
Yes.
All right.